Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being with us. Before I start to teach again my 6-week long online course called Unleashing Your Authentic Feminine Voice for Power and Impact, I would like to bring other voices in the space, voices of people who have already worked with me. Lisa, thank you for being here and thank you for accepting my invitation. How are you?
I'm great. It's such a pleasure to see you again.
Yes. So you were in my beta group, right? When I was like a very shy teacher and who do I dare going out to the world in English? So thank you for being part of this sisterhood, this part of Circle of Women. So before we worked together, did you have any issues of voice or expressing yourself through the voice?
I think it's an interesting question. I have been living in Hungary for, I think, about 20 years. And the idea of expressing yourself in a second language, especially, it was quite intimidating. And I felt like over the years, I kind of minimized my voice, especially out with people who were non-English speaking. And yeah, it had an impact over time. And I also spend a lot of time in my head working on other people's words in my own language.
Yes.
So this class was a chance for me to kind of get back in touch with writing for myself and feeling and letting my own words come through in different ways and different topics that just kind of naturally came up when we were all practicing and discussing together. And that's what I enjoyed the most out of the class. And definitely, I think that's how I really celebrated my voice in this group.
Oh, thank you. I had again tears in my eyes, just like with it's so nice to hear because we haven't really talked about it since. And I remember very well this we have this automatic or free writing session when we collect material for songwriting from the inside. And I remember your faceless expression, like a shining Lisa, just your shine came through the camera. Hey, Lisa, I just want to hug you. So it was so nice, and thank you for bringing this up. And you have somehow already answered my second question, which was like, what was the main transformation that occurred by working with this group and with me on your voice?
Well, I think, yeah, it was also when we were doing it, it was the time of lockdown. And so we spent a lot of time, I mean, most of our time in the house, just talking to our family members. And this whole thing of being on Zoom was quite different. So for me, again, we were already kind of going inward, but this was like a safe space to kind of experience something that had been there in the past that I hadn't tapped into for a long time. So again, like with the free writing, which is something I kind of did maybe a long time ago as a student and before I kind of got into work and family. And it was really exciting. And it was like, even though we were all in this enclosed space, it was letting something go. And I think that's what you mean when you say you saw me shine, because I just tapped back into that after so long and was like, oh yeah, I can do this. And maybe this is an art form that I want to continue to look into.
It was tangible in the space. It was almost touchable, like I could literally shining. And so you also mentioned something which was very interesting again for me, that you said that, oh, singing not for me because you are working with words, right? And oh, it's singing, what's this? Because I usually, when I talk to clients or professional women, they also speak about, oh, I never connected singing to speaking. What's the point? And so it was flowing so naturally that in the end, or actually in the beginning, everyone, all of you were just singing without really even noticing it that you are already doing. So what was this experience for you?
Well, I think, again, we were on Zoom and people who were shy, you just said, okay, just turn off your mic and don't worry about it. But the other thing I forgot is I'm sitting here next to a window. My neighbor's outside in their garden gardening, and they can hear me and they have no context for these sounds, like these very, I think one of the exercises was like a very prehistoric sound, and it must have been just ridiculous. I thought, better to share it with the people who actually have the context and the people who have no idea what's going on. So yeah, it was great. I do love singing at home, in the shower, in the kitchen, in the car, whatever. But the idea of finding a voice with a group of people was a little bit intimidating. But it's just such a welcoming space that there was no way you couldn't. And I think after a while, I always wanted to join in the singing. So
I'm so delightful to hear all this, because I think one of my superpowers is that vocalizing authentic self. And for this, we need to create a safe place in order to go beyond our comfort zone, because sometimes if you want to find our authentic voice, we have to go beyond what we already know and recover this or rediscover this, which is already in us, but we don't use it.
For sure. It's going outside those set boundaries. Like I said, with the neighbors, like there's an assumption there that you're not going to be making, I don't know, caveman sounds or whatever at 6 o'clock at night. But again, I think that that's maybe with the new class, something that's really interesting is like people who feel like they aren't allowed to use their voice or in their position at work or at home or whatever. And this is giving them like that reassurance, like it's okay. We're all hearing the same things. We all have the same fears, and we just need to take that step together to get over them.
We all of us have these suppressed emotions and all this caveman practice and baby or wolf practice, like all crazy sound giving is just so, it's a deep healing process. Actually, I don't really call this healing, but what is happening is this validation of different parts of us that is like still in the shadow. So I'm very happy that you wrote this up, and the free writing part and the crazy sound and the neighbors. So thank you for being here. And I just would like to say thank you. You remember, then sometimes we don't even know if we sing or we speak. You remember of playing with Susanna Vega's finer melody?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would love to join the class again, because as I was thinking about this, like during lockdown, how we all kind of got into our habits and we were exercising a lot at home every day. And that was one of the exercises. I mean, just writing, just waking up and writing, or just taking 20 minutes and just letting your mind go and writing. I don't do that enough anymore. I need to set a reminder. And I think, it would be very helpful to get back in touch with it.
Please, you are very welcome again to take part of this circle of doers, women who are doers and taking actions. Because I think in terms of voice, when we speak about speaking better or singing better or getting in touch with our deeper layers, it's always through actions, through doing things. So we can think and learn about things, but I'm a doer, and this is what you can learn from me, or you who are watching us. I'm a doer, so I really invite people to do things, because that's how we grow. Lisa, it's oh, my heart is warm here, and I have like, oh, thank you. So thank you very much for sharing, and I hope to welcome you again in the circle.
Thanks, Bea. Thanks.
Thank you, Lisa. Bye. Yes.